Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics and in what's a bumper week for news in the UK, political news, certainly. The Conservatives have just lost what's been a safe seat for 100 years. And it wasn't just a marginal loss either. They were completely smashed. But first, if you'd like to be notified of daily news and politics, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification icon. So this is a little bit maddening. News keeps coming. There's a few more weeks left of term time. Don't have time to manage all this. Can't they just smooth it out a bit? Watch this. In 3 weeks' time, there'll be nothing. Actually, there will be. But I thought I'd be talking about the resignation of the DUP's new leader, Edwin Poots, who's also now the old leader in this slot. He lasted 20 days. And that has massive ramifications for not only Northern Ireland, but Brexit in general. But it could also be argued that an extra few hours for me to chew the fat on that won't be a bad thing. This by-election, I know exactly what I want to say. The first thing to note is I didn't see it coming. I knew the following, which were all factors in the result. One, the Conservatives were losing support in their traditional heartlands. Because many in Labour are hell-bent on self-destruction, spending more time fighting amongst themselves than the Conservatives, little was made of the fact that Labour actually made serious ground into the Conservatives' blue wall during the recent local elections, because everyone was just treating it as if it was doom and gloom. It wasn't a great result for them overall, but they increased vote share and captured a safe Tory council right in their heartlands, right in David Cameron country, in fact. Boris Johnson's push to appeal to voters in Labour strongholds is working out, and it's having Labour flapping around like a lot of wet hens. He's convinced them that they will do better with the Tories. More about that in a bit, though. But the point is that despite what he might try, you can't be all things to all people. That's how he's won his support base, by saying everyone can have everything. Well, you can't. He's ignored his own base, and given that there are more people in Tory heartlands than Labour ones, the Conservatives have more to lose from such a mistake than Labour do. Second thing, I also knew that there would be tactical voting going on and that the Liberal Democrats could push very hard and that there was a lot of dissatisfaction with the Tories in this area, even though it's a traditional Tory heartland. But what we've got right now is not a traditional Tory party. I was disappointed that Labour did not agree to a pact, because that would have made certain of the Tory loss and helped secure their own by-election in a couple of weeks as well. As it is, the Liberal Democrats have won without that pact, albeit with voters just choosing to vote tactically. Because that's what's happened. Labour didn't even get their deposit back, basically. Labour voters voted for the Lib Dems to get rid of the Tories there. Okay, the Green Party still sort of campaigned and sort of got what they would have got, I think. But the voters in Chesham and Amersham were canny enough to realise only the Liberal Democrats could oust the Conservatives, and so that's who they voted for. A vote for Labour, even if you support Labour, wasn't actually helping Labour. On Thursday evening, though, yesterday evening, I was hearing reports of a lot of sweating going on in Conservative HQ. And I thought, because I hadn't really been paying careful attention to it, I have to be honest, because I thought with the Progressive Alliance, we've got a chance. Without it, oh, Jesus. But then I started to hear, Conservative HQ are sweating. Then I thought to myself, hang on a minute, have I seen any reports of Boris Johnson campaigning there? I tried to find something in the news. I found he did visit it a couple of weeks ago. But I couldn't find anything this week. Why wasn't he there this week? With the Hartlepool by-election, which the Conservatives won, he was there in person just before the vote as well. Maximum impact. He will probably visit Batley and Spen as well, because the anti-Tory vote looks like it's going to split itself to help the Tories win there. So he'll go there. He'll go where he thinks he can win. That Johnson did not attend in person just before the vote, it's all right saying 7th of March or whenever, but just before this election, that he didn't do that for such an important seat. Really crucial seat. That suggests the Conservatives had basically given it up as a bad job. We're going to lose it. And he thought it was lost. And it was. It wasn't just a tight result. But I don't think that's wise, even if they thought they were on for a hiding. Because this was a sit up and take notice result for the Conservatives, for Labour, for the Liberal Democrats, and just for those who were not partisan, but want to kick the Tories out. For the Conservatives, it was a lesson that they cannot take their core support for granted. Now, make no mistake, it's impossible for Johnson to keep his promises to both the north and the south of England. It's quite likely he won't keep his promises to any, but he can't do it to both. Because to the north, who eagerly voted for Brexit, and then the Conservatives, for the promise of good times ahead, the government needs to spend, and spend big. People talk a lot of crap about Labour and the Red Wall, but the bottom line is that Brexit and the Tories are a con trick. It was an easier trick to pull on those who thought they had nothing. Like, if you're comfortably off and you think about Brexit and you've been promised that it'd be even better, it's a bit like, but is it really? Is it really credible what you're saying? Because I'm quite comfortable now. But if you've got nothing, or you feel you've got nothing and you think there's nothing to lose, then even if you're not convinced, it's like, well, we'll give it a shot. What's to lose? I fear they are going to be proven wrong in time and that they actually do have more to lose. And when they are, and they wake up to this, it's all right saying, but then they'll see the Tories for who they really are. Right, yeah. They may also ask why successive Labour leaderships did not speak out against the con. But the point is that these are desperate people who have been neglected and are supporting hope. The hope is not real. But they don't see that yet. To maintain the illusion, the government needs big spending. They need to bring a lot of things. Even if it doesn't bring benefits, they need to be able to say, look, this will give you a benefit. Just hold on. That's their trick. Hold on a bit more. We'll get to the next election. Just hold on a little bit more. And they'll show them, look, we're making progress. Rome wasn't built in a day. We can't do it overnight. But look what we've done. Look at all this spending we've done. Yes, I know it hasn't put a penny in your pockets, but it will do. Look, we're building. And you know, the government have to spend big to do that. But that will not meet with the approval of those in the south, especially if it means investment going elsewhere. See, they are the haves and they don't want to lose out for others to gain. And that is what has to happen. See, if Boris Johnson was growing the economy, then you could improve things for people in the north and indeed throughout the UK without asking those in the south to make sacrifices. But he's not growing the economy. He's shrinking it. He's made promises that are impossible to keep, and Conservative MPs cannot remain united on this as we get close to the next election. Northern MPs need spending. Southern MPs want cuts. You cannot do both. Johnson has fudged it so far and thrown the economy out of whack, but you cannot do that every year. He will have to choose one and then trigger a war with the other. The impact for the Liberal Democrats and Labour is clear. Where there is dissatisfaction with the Conservatives, people will vote to kick them out. They'll even vote for a different party than they normally would to kick them out. But you cannot rely on everyone voting tactically to do this. Only a formal progressive alliance will work consistently across the country. This result is good for Labour. You know, the bottom line is Labour cannot win a working majority come the next general election without winning Scotland. That's just the mathematical fact. And that is frankly not credible. Labour can make gains there and they need to try and make gains there. But ultimately, they just need to win as much as they can and then seek support. The aim for 2024 or 2023, if you think that's when it'll be, whenever, is to stop the Conservatives gaining a majority. That is it. That is the only win on offer. Yes, all sorts of mad things can happen in politics, and this result is right up there. But we need to be realistic. The SNP are going to remain strong in Scotland, come what may. Even if we have another referendum and they lose it, the party's not going to have its support collapse. The party will still remain strong because enough people are happy with what they're doing in government in Scotland to support them in Westminster elections as well, even as part of the UK. But if Labour, the Green Party and the Liberal Democrats work formally together, they not only can but will win. And the thing is, all of them will gain seats compared to not doing. We're not asking a party to sacrifice MPs for the sake of kicking the Tories out. We're not asking the Greens to stand down against Labour or anything like that. As a direct result of a coordinated progressive alliance, which means you only stand down candidates when the Conservatives will win if you don't. And you support whoever's the most likely to beat them. Labour would gain MPs, the Liberal Democrats would gain MPs, and the Green Party would gain MPs. It is a win-win-win situation. Their gains would be directly at the cost of not each other, which is what they do by not working together, but of Conservative MPs. This is a powerful lesson in what a progressive alliance can achieve. On this occasion, there was no alliance, but voters behaved as if there were anyway. They took it upon themselves. The next by-election, next month, could be another lesson. Because if Labour lose because their vote is split, surely the calls for a progressive alliance will rise to another level. Only it's going to come accompanied with more needless infighting in Labour, more spurious conclusions being drawn from the results. But for those who just want the Tories gone, this is also a huge sit-up-and-take-notice result. Tactical voting works. That's what's happened there. There was no pact, there was no alliance. Now, it may well be that Labour quietly, on the sly, decided not to campaign hard there. You know, that may well have happened. It also happened under Corbyn with the Welsh seats. Name forget me now. I forget. A Conservative was recalled, and the Liberal Democrats actually won that one as well. Labour didn't pull their candidate, but they didn't campaign there either. Jeremy Corbyn didn't go there, and he likes to go on campaigning. So Labour sort of put a candidate up, but didn't really throw the party machine behind it. That may well be what happened here as well. But, you know, the only way to achieve change in a first-past-the-post system is with this sort of voting. And it can mean for the voter holding your nose and voting for a candidate or a party you wouldn't normally support, you know. But I've said it before and I'll say it again. Democracy isn't about what you want. It's about what you least oppose. Of the choices you have, which is the lesser of two evils sometimes. You know, in first-past-the-post especially, you almost always have two choices. If you vote for any other candidates, you are actually supporting whoever wins. So for everyone who's not happy with, say, some aspect of Labour's policies on something, and there will be plenty, a vote in Batley and Spen in a couple of weeks, for anyone else, if you vote for anyone, you know, is a vote for the Conservative candidate. You might go, no, I'm voting for like George Galloway or something. No, you're not. You're not, because he ain't going to win. You're voting for the Conservative candidate. You know, and that candidate will do whatever Boris Johnson tells them. So actually, it's a vote for Boris Johnson. That's the reality of first past the post. And if you don't like that, if you want to insist, no, I'm not voting for, you are. If you don't like it, then we need a progressive alliance that will promise to deliver proportional representation. Then people will have more choice. And most people then should not have to hold their nose in a polling station ever again, unless, of course, there's no candidate that suits them. Finally, might well be that Labour do agree a progressive alliance. It may even be that Starmer already intends to do so, but doesn't feel that the wider party would accept it right now. Maybe this is something he feels he needs to wait. I don't know. What I do know is that it will be essential. And I don't just mean a useful device. It's always been a useful device, as long as first past the post and split voting on the left has been a thing. You know, that would be reason enough to do it anyway for me. I think it's always been maddening that we haven't. I mean, I am prepared to stand here and express 99.9% certainty the Conservatives will win power again if Labour do not lead a progressive alliance. The 0.1% doubt is because it is just possible that a large number of Conservative candidates could be abducted by aliens during the day before the election and not returned, or that the media start reporting the facts. But I think the aliens are more likely. But those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. Hope you found the video interesting. If you did, don't forget to click the like button. And if you'd like to support the channel further, please also click the Patreon link for details. And until next time, I'll see you later.